you doing? It's Khoa here, and in this podcast I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Brad Sugars. I've been chasing this guy for over a year and been following for a very long time. I've got his books, been to his seminars, and the man owns over 1,000 businesses in about 38 countries around the world. And in this podcast, we talk a lot about the coronavirus, how to thrive through it, and also ways in which you could build up your business as well. Without further ado, here's Brad Sugars. Thanks. So Brad Sugars, I really appreciate your time. You're a very hard man to catch. I've been chasing you for about over a year, so, so I was thinking,
this whole, it's amazing. When you look at this whole coronavirus thing, it's made me go back to work, and not because I need the money, but I just want to save every business that's out there, because this is my fourth economic downturn, and I've been through this so many dang times. It feels like that. It's like, okay, here's how you do it. This is what you do. And most people, especially like a lot of your listeners are younger, and they haven't had a business. They started after '08, and so they haven't had to go through a downturn. So lucky them.
Yeah.
It's good to be here. Good to be with you, buddy.
Yeah, appreciate you. And okay, so people, they're struggling at the moment. They're in lockdown, and they got businesses. What's your advice to them? I know that you've got some training that you're helping people, break out.
Yeah, look, I've done a bunch of webinars on this now, and if anyone wants them, they're all on my YouTube. So and stuff. Maybe you put them in the show notes as well.
Yeah, definitely.
But here's the interesting thing about it is that if you look at the economic cycling of any market, and so I started Action Coach back in '93 when Australia was in the middle of a recession. Then you went through the dot-com bubble, then the real estate bubble, and now the pandemic bubble. And I'm not trying to be insensitive to the health crisis with this, but I'll speak a bit matter-of-factly about how this looks. But it happens in some of those previous busts, and they're all financial driven busts, if that makes sense. So this one's very different. This is not a financially driven bust. It's not, internet or junk bonds or real estate. This one is a health crisis. And so what it's allowed us to understand about the market is that the market is going down immediately. Everyone knew that. Like, there's no debate. With the real estate, with the 2008, everyone debated for months, is this actually a bust, and some people even debated for more than a year, is it a bust? And this one, we all know it's done. Like, we're done. We're off the boil now. But here's the next thing that's different. In that one in '08, and even in the internet bubble, it was pretty much an all hands bust. Everyone lost money. Like, every real estate went down across the board. So everyone that owned real estate lost money. Everyone that rented was in trouble. Everyone that, banks dried up money. Now, here's the thing with this one. This is about a third. A third of businesses are fully shut down. That's anywhere from 20 to 40%, depending upon the market. Us here in Vegas, we've got more shut down because the casinos are a big revenue generator for us. But most markets, about 20% of businesses are just actually fully shut down in this lockdown, meaning hairdressers and, that sort of thing. And then you got about 30 to 50%, again, depending on the market, that are in pivot. They've found a way to go virtual, keep their head above water, not die. They're trading through this thing. They've found a way, because that's an important distinction to remember, and I'll come back to that. And then you've got about 20 to 30%, a bit bigger in some markets, of businesses that are literally booming right now. They are doing such massive numbers that no one's ever seen. When you look at McDonald's and Amazon and Chick-fil-A and all of these companies that are just, like, I'm talking to one of my clients at Action Coach the other day. This guy's in the conveyor belt business. His business is racing right now. There ain't no FedEx or UPS or Amazon facility that wants to have their conveyor belts go down. Like, that would be crushing for them. Another of my clients that's in the model train business, they annihilated with new business.
Wow.
Another client, these guys pivoted. This is phenomenal. Well, see, people are at home. So what are they going to do at home? They're going to do something.
Yeah, yeah.
So these guys are getting all the people that's their hobby. Then
Yep.
you look at the gym, all the gyms are shut, but
Mm,
every company selling fitness equipment
that's
is
true.
in boom.
Mm.
So you got to look at this and understand that a third of the market is in absolute boom.
Yep.
About a third, and again, it varies, it's not exact, but about a third are in pivot and staying alive, and about a third are in full shutdown. Now, here's the difference. Depending on the market, and here in the US, obviously, anyone that's in full shutdown is getting a full bailout.
Mm. That's true.
Government's paying for all
Oh,
your
yeah,
stuff.
stimulus
Good
checks,
luck.
yeah. Mm.
You got a couple of airlines today. One of the airlines got $6 billion. Actually, two of them got $6 billion. One of them got $5.5 billion. It's going to cover their losses. They're still running all the cargo right now. All them cargo people are saying, "Oh, there's too many flights in the air in the U.S." They're not with people. They're just cargo flights. They're just shipping stuff everywhere. And you start seeing it. So, whilst the fall of the economy, because remember we had this massive boom from 2012 to 2020. We're in the biggest boom in the history of my lifetime. The previous boom was a shorter boom that was from sort of 2000 to 2008.
Yep.
This thing, highest Dow ever, etc., etc. Well, the Dow came on, me dove in, bought every single thing we could. I was at McDonald's buying William Hill.
Yep.
Just, within a week, I made 20 and 30 points on my money. And it's like, this is crazy. And so I'm out in cash, and then I'm back in again, and then I short, and then I'm back in, So I'm just in and out. Like I'm not, there's no hold and stuff right now. It's like in and out because some days we're up, some days we're down. Depends on, when Disney furloughed all of their staff at Disney Florida, I'm like to all my boys, Monday is a crash, guys. Monday's down. We're going down 2-3 points. And everyone's like, all right, let's get on this. So we shorted the Dow, and hey, presto, we all made a bit of money.
Nice.
But so this fall is going to be about 90 to 180 days. I've told every client of mine worldwide, you need a 90-day hunker down survive plan. You need 90 days of survival. In this period, you got to come out of it though. When they announce reopenings, and they're going to do it. It's not like they're going to keep us locked down. The pressure to reopen is too strong right now. Mayors, governors, presidents, prime ministers, they're getting pressure like nothing before to reopen and start reopening. And Sweden's doing their thing. Now, last night I was on the phone to my partner in Germany. Germany's coming and they're reopening. And I'm looking at how Germany's reopening. And I'm sure America's studying that as well. Japan, I was on the phone to Japan. Min's telling me how they're reopening. And it's like everyone's watching this stuff. And China's reopening. And China running an app where, you're green, yellow, or you're red. It tells you with corona or not with corona. Or
having that in Australia now. Yeah.
Yeah, look, everyone's looking to do it type thing. And it's one of those interesting Big Brother things. It's like,
do you believe in that type of stuff? The conspiracy where the government is trying to have more control over you? What do you think?
Buddy, if you believe there isn't a conspiracy, I think you're crazy. The NSA's listening to our phone call right now, and they're marking up on how many words you say. So, I mean, look, the reality is every single phone conversations, every single phone conversation is listened to. Here's your iPhone, right? What did they say? They went to Apple and said, hey, we need everyone's fingerprint. Great. Apple got everyone's fingerprint. Hey, we need everybody's facial recognition. Great. Got that. Anyone who thinks they don't have all that's crazy. So I'm not really caring.
Okay.
Big Brother's already watching every dang thing there is. So,
okay. All right then.
I don't worry about any of that stuff. I just get on with it.
Stay focused on the business. Okay.
So here we are in a 90-day survival mode. The economic fall of 2008 was a year and a half, right? It kept dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping because it was real estate driven and it was across the board. In this case, we've got the stock market dipped 30%, and then everyone went, hang on, all these companies are doing amazingly well, and hang on, these guys are going to get a bailout. The U.S. has already done $2 trillion. I believe they'll double down on that and put $4 trillion. And then I believe what I'm hearing out of Congress is that the infrastructure bill, another $2 trillion, will come later to reignite. See, Trump is not letting us go into November with a negative economy. Trump has got us reopened by then. There's a 100% chance that that's what he's driving for. They just announced 431 million today being invested into one particular company that has a vaccine that's very positive at this point in time. So,
Okay.
they're moving at a rapid rate of knots. So the economic winter is going to be shorter than the 2008 one. See, 2008 took a year and a half to drop, a year to a year and a half to drop. But then it took a year to 2 to 3 years for us to get our heads around the fact that we were in an economic winter, that we were in that period. And money tightened. See, this time money's not tightening. The governments are giving money left, right, and center. The US, everyone's just getting their $1,200 and their $500 a kid. People are getting, anyone that went on the bets here in the US, if you went on welfare right here, you're about half of America got a pay rise by going on welfare because they just doubled it for the 3 months, right? So all these people that were under 40 odd grand a year in income, they just got a pay rise. By going on that. So and they got the stimulus check and they got the kid bonus. So it's
so
crazy.
do you think that's motivating them to not be as proactive anymore because they're getting these stimulus checks and they're not really working?
I think in any market, mate, you got the proactive and the reactive people in any market.
Okay.
They're getting that money. All that money is doing is making sure rents get paid and things like that. That's what that money is doing. But we're still going to have, like here in Vegas, delinquencies are usually by April 12th, delinquencies are usually around 8%. We're now at about 17% delinquencies on rent. US wide, it's usually around 5.5%. It's now at 10%. So 5% more people not paying their rents right now. 5 to 10%, depending on the market, they're not paying their rents right now. We'll see that. But then you got banks. I mean, literally every bank in the US that's a big bank is offering 3 months mortgage relief. You don't have to pay your mortgage for 3 months.
In Australia, you can pause the just give the bank a call and they'll pause it for about 6 months. Here it's up to 6 months. You can do 3 months clicking a button. If you want 6, you got to talk to someone. So it's like, dang, every investor in the country should be taking that 3 months of mortgage relief. That definitely
makes sense. But I believe economic spring will come pretty fast, and we'll be back in, because this is not a financial collapse. Everyone's got to remember that. This is a health collapse. It wasn't that there was a fundamental financial problem that caused this. There was a human health problem that caused this. So we got to keep that in mind when we go through this. And again, those businesses that were shut down, they will come back. It's a question of, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Definitely. I think I love your books. I've got your book here, Instant Promotions, and I've also got the other one.
Fantastic.
Love it. I love the your former...
You got to get all 17, buddy. I'm not sitting there. None of this. I got 2 of them 17. I want to see you with all of the dang things.
I've been following you for years. I know the business chassis, right? You've got the leads, conversion rate. I love that. The analogy that you got there.
Yeah, that was my first ever book, Instant Cash Flow. There you go.
Amazing.
Did you get my latest?
I've got the original cover one.
This was my latest bestseller, the pulling profits out of a hat.
I have not seen that one. I got to get that one.
Buying customers. That's the ice cream. Yeah. So
I
wrote that one because we studied a lot of our clients who had massive growth, and we sat down and said, what's the difference between massive growth companies and okay growth companies? And that was what that was.
Yep. So in this market, obviously we have to generate more leads, more lead generation, obviously. So we have to get more creative, right? So you recommend, obviously, is there an opportunity to advertise more in advertising because it's a lot cheaper now, or like what's your thoughts on there to generate more leads for business?
Well, interesting. Interesting enough, Facebook advertising has gone up because everyone's trying to work out, I got to do that. So your cost per click right now is actually up. I know our cost per click, I just actually read a report from one of my ClickFunnels managers, and it went from $1.62 to $2.19 a click.
Yeah, it's going on quite a bit. Yeah.
But that's what's happening. Facebook's, see, how much money you reckon Facebook's making out of this whole thing? How much you reckon Google's going to make out of this whole thing? How much is every trucking company making right now? My commercial cleaning business, which is based in Australia, it's crushing it right now, doing sanitizing and full disinfecting cleaning. So this is the thing. There's so many opportunities, and this is where The mindset, if your mindset is, oh my God, we're dead, everything's ending, the world's over, then you're crazy. This is the biggest wealth shift in the last 10 years. The biggest shift in wealth is happening right now. Remember back, here's a question for you. What two companies that went massive and viral global were invented after the last crash? Airbnb and Uber.
They
were
created a
invented.
session. Yeah.
This is the whole thing. Recession is when the most creative thinking actually gets a shot, because it's like, I know some of my team, and they're kind of mad at me because they had these stupid, dumb ideas back a year or 2, 3 years ago. And it was stupid and dumb ideas back then. So we never did it. Now we're running with it and it's making us money.
Damn it.
It's like, yeah, boss, you should have done that 2 years ago. I know.
Yeah. I like what you said about, you can't build a great business without great people. You need great people to build a great business. And yeah, you're influenced by Jim Rohn as well, when you were growing up as well. And
16 years old, I got to meet
16 years old. Yep. And you went to a seminar, right? You went to a seminar and
Brisbane City Town Hall, Brisbane, Australia.
Yep. You still listen to Jim Rohn, by the way?
You know, every now and again, I pull out an old Jim Rohn. I've got him on my swimming headphones at the moment. So,
really?
Yeah, when I swim, I swim and listen to Jim.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm listening to both Jim Rohn, 2 old classics on my thing, Jim Rohn and Reverend Ike, Dr. Frederick Ike Connor.
Oh, Frederick Ike, yeah. I think
Reverend Ike, he was one of the best about loving money and being okay with money. And, you know, for a kid that went to Sunday school and had to learn that money was evil, it was great to listen to Reverend Ike tell me the exact opposite.
And you also said that, I think Jim Rohn, he was roaring in the 80s, wasn't he? He was on fire, wasn't he? He was, he had a lot of great content and everything. And then, something happened or something. Like, he was still very good, but I think.
Yeah, look, he was great. He's always been phenomenal. So this is the thing. I sit back and I look at what Jim taught, and he was one of the greatest business philosophers there ever was, and took that philosophy. But going back to your point on people, listen, the job of a business owner is to build their people. The people then see how you take care of your people determines how well they take care of your customer, and how well you take care of your customer determines how well they take care of the business. So your job is build the people. If you build the people, they build the business. And it's no more complex than that. But if you don't build the people, they're not going to build the business. So people can only perform to their level of training. So if you've never trained them to be great, then don't expect them to do great.
I look at you as someone who's slayed the dragon, because business is one of the toughest things, right? You know, that you can overcome. It's this mental frustration, even though it's really simple to you. You formulate it into your business chassis, right? So I'm curious about the frustration part of it, the mindset behind a successful entrepreneur. What is your routine, or how do you overcome those type of things when you're going through a challenge like today?
Yeah, see, it's very different today. I mean, look, in days when I actually worked and ran businesses and ran my companies, it was different. Today, there's 9 companies. Before COVID, I worked my usual 2 days a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9 till 3.
You're working still? Wow, incredible.
Yeah. I still coach all of my CEOs of my companies. So all the CEOs are the people I coach. I don't coach any clients, because now Action Coach has more than 1,000 offices around the world in just under 80 countries. And so, you know, we sit, I don't do that stuff anymore, but I work with my CEOs and I coach them and make sure, and some of them I coach weekly, but most of them I coach once a month. And then on the other day of the week, I do interviews, I do podcasts or webinars or that sort of thing. Because I used to go out and travel the world and do free seminars and do all that sort of stuff. And now I don't need to do that anymore. Now I can work from my desk here at home, and hey presto. And this way people are saying, oh, how are you adjusting to working from home? I always have. I've never had to adjust. It's a thing that I've done forever. So, but yeah, you know, ultimately the goal of any business is to build a business that works so you don't have to. That's the ultimate goal. The goal is to build a saleable asset. And that's why we teach how to build a commercial profitable enterprise that works without you. If you have to go to work, you work for a crazy person. You know, and that's the gradualness of business. That took me quite a while to learn that, but nowadays I I see because this is the greatest thing about business. Your knowledge is always going to be there. Whatever you learn, if you learn sales in one business, you still understand sales. It doesn't matter what company you're in, you still got the idea of sales.
It's transferable.
You know, marketing, once you learn marketing, it's for every business. Once you learn management, leadership, systemization, those skills are applicable to any business out there. In the beginning, I used to buy broken companies and fix them. And nowadays what I do is I find great little companies that are in like one city and I spread them across the world or across the state or across the country. It's sort of, I feel like that movie about Ray Kroc was also about me. It's what I do. It's, you know, build them and spread them across the world.
You're so passionate about building businesses, and you formulated the system in how to franchise things. I think I saw you interviewing, you're being interviewed by Grant Cardone. You're teaching him how to, you know, franchise his 10X.
As I would say to Grant, if he's at all teachable, that's the question. It's like, I don't know.
He started, right?
If he's that teachable. So, you know, love the guy, but teachability is not high. Not high.
In Nigeria, maybe expand in Nigeria, because I think there's opportunity, right? Yeah, okay.
But this is the thing, you know, one of the craziest things about any business person is they see their country as the only country they do business in. They're not open to it. And any business that says they're doing great, I say, okay, fantastic. What's your strategy to open in India? And they look at me funny. We don't have a strategy to open in India. Okay, well then in 20 years, you're going to be in trouble, because you break the world down. The Americas are 1 billion people. Africa's 1 billion people. Europe's 1 billion people. Asia's 4 billion. You know, that's now. Now, while the Chinese economy starts moving and the Indian economy starts moving and all of these things start happening, you got Indonesian economy, you got all of these massive population bases. They're moving from poverty into middle class. What does that mean? It means that this is the reason why steel companies and the owners, the Tatas, you know, the infrastructure build in India right now is massive. You know, this is a country where more than half the population is in the millennial generation and below. So you sit there and you start thinking, holy heck, where's India going to be in 20 years' time? And if you don't have a strategy to dominate in India now, you're going to be behind the 8 ball. I know, you know, I was literally on a webinar to India, was it last night before last, you know, a couple of thousand people that wanted to learn all these things. So you got to sit down and you got to start thinking about business globally. And that to me is one of the biggest things that I see in front of a lot of businesses. They don't think global.
Yeah, I think you said by 2030, I think India could be the next superpower, right? Because millennials,
financial superpower,
financial superpower, yeah. Interesting. Okay. How about another question is, let's say you were to go into a time machine, go back, press a button, go back to your younger self. What would you say to your younger self?
Dang! Hurry up!
Hurry up!
Hurry up! Go faster!
Wow! Go faster!
Yeah, because see, when I was young, I'll tell you the two stupid things.
You started at 16 though. Yeah.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I believed in, you hear all of these millennial coaches out there telling everyone, you know, you got to hustle and grind, which is the dumbest shit ever. Dumbest stuff ever. Hustle and grind just covers up problems in your business. And I did that in the beginning. I thought in the beginning in my head that it was a badge of honor for me to bootstrap my way through this, for me to be working 12, 16-hour days. Like, this is a badge of honor. Reality was that all it did was cover up all of the problems in my business. By me working that hard, I covered them up. And I didn't realize I had bad marketing, and didn't realize that my sales strategy wasn't correct, and didn't realize my pricing policy was out of line with where it should have been. So, you know, a lot of those things that just had to change. And now they do, you know, and now we're different. Now we do it a different way. And so I would say that was the first thing. I should have taken on capital and expanded faster in that way.
Okay.
And the other thing was, you know, I do say move faster. I doubted myself when I was younger. There was a lot of things where, I don't think I should do that. Maybe I'm not ready for that. Maybe I'm not. No, I should have just gone for it. Just go for it.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. You know, and that's right. Any young person in business that's holding back, it's like, come on, hurry up. Hurry it up. The world's not waiting for you. You know, get going, go faster. Set a much, much bigger goal, I think, would be the other thing. Set a much, much bigger goal.
I think, yeah, going to that point about going faster, I think you said in another podcast about trial and error, try and avoid trial and error, right? Because it just takes up too much energy, too much time. Find a coach, find someone who's already done it, and then just apply it, right? There you
Amazing,
go.
isn't it?
Hey,
Amazing that
amazing.
if I can find someone who can tell me how to do it now. And back then also, I think I employed the wrong people. I employed people that I could coach and mentor and help. Nowadays, if they're not overqualified, I don't hire them.
Yeah.
What? You've already run a $200 million business in this industry? Great. You can run mine. You know, if I'm doing 10 million and I employ a guy or a gal that's already done 200 million, they know how to get there.
Okay. So speaking on that, how can people get in contact with Action Coach then?
Actioncoach.com. You can find me on any social media, LinkedIn, Face. I'm on there every day, basically, especially during this thing, because they can jump on my YouTube channel as well, bradsugars.com. Listen, you'll find me everywhere. Other than
everywhere.
Pinterest. Other than Pinterest, I'm not a crafty kind of person. You know, it's like you're not going to find me on TikTok singing songs.
No, you're not that active on YouTube, but look at what you're building around you.
Yeah. You know, so these are the things. My kids are great on TikTok, not me.
Yeah. Hopefully we can see you dancing soon, maybe. Or who knows?
Not really the thing, you know. Listen, I just want every business person to know that right now you got to make change. You got to shift. You got to shift your marketing. You got to shift your sales. You got to shift your strategy of delivery. The world is different. As we go forward, we're moving to contactless. Simple things like if you know, in our restaurant, we're moving our restaurant that everyone, when they come in the door, they, you know, it's very clear. Oh, if you download our app, our menu is on the app. Or if you click to our website, the menu's right there on the website, because people don't want to touch menus.
Yeah.
Your doors to your restaurant, you have to move all doors to automated doors because people don't want to be touching doors. You got to move bathrooms. How do you get in and out of the bathroom? People don't want to be touching the door. They want to be able to walk in and out. Like there's so many things that are going to shift because of this. Offices. Like I'm looking at our commercial real estate and saying, okay, should we sell some of these buildings because people aren't going to want to be working in offices anymore. People have tested viral and now they love it. You know, it's when we're building homes now, you got to build a home office into a home now. If you're building apartments, there's got to be a space for a home office because people are going to want to work from home. You know, air conditioning. Oh my God, the opportunity in air conditioning right now. New York, one of their biggest problems is the entire building's air conditioning is on one system. So the air went from one house to one apartment to the next apartment to the next apartment to the next apartment. So damn, buddy, there's so many opportunities coming up through this thing. Not to be insensitive to the market, but to just understand that we got to come through this thing stronger than we went into it.
I think a lot of business owners, they being more creative these days, and they come out with different type of opportunities that they never would have seen before. For example, I was talking to one of my clients. She owns a gym, and obviously with the whole lockdown, there's no more people going to their premise. So then they wanted to create some sort of live streaming of their workouts. So therefore they learned how to create some sort of, you know, streaming software, and therefore it's integrated into their business now. And that never would have happened without the whole, you know, coronavirus.
It's leapfrogging 10, 20 years of development for a lot of people.
So just keep an eye out and just keep on innovating and
keep innovating, keep doing it. Can you make sure, buddy, that we give the 10-day course that I've done for everybody on how to survive and thrive coronavirus?
Yeah,
make sure
100%,
they get the link to that. Because to me, it's really important that every business owner survives. So I'm giving away everything for free in that training course. I literally filmed it here in my home office just to get the information to people and get them learning.
Yep. What's the link to that one, by the way?
I'll get team to send it to you, so you'll put it in the show notes.
I'll put it on the show notes on the video and everything. So too easy.
It's, you know, it's one of those things that we here as business people need to make certain that we're supporting each other, that we're all growing together. And that to me is one of the big aspects of what's happening out there in the marketplace.
Definitely. Awesome. Okay. Brad Sugars.
Buddy, thank you. Yeah. Thank you for everything you're doing to help educate people out there. I really appreciate what you're doing.
No worries. Thanks a lot for that, Brad. Appreciate your time, and hope, you know, wish you all the best on future endeavors, and take care, mate.
Thanks, buddy.
All right. See you, mate. Bye.